I'm your morning witch, and today is Friday, April 18th. Happy Friday, y'all. Now we all know if you're not new here, we all know Friday's for the weavers. And if you are new here, guess what? Friday is for the weavers. Fridays generally in most of the pantheons are associated as days of worship for the goddesses that represent multiple things, but also weaving, specifically the web of life. Such as in the Slavic pantheon, Fridays are sacred to Mokosh, and she is the weaver. She's also the great mother. She is the moist earth betwixt our toes that brings forth life with the waters from the gods above. And Freya, though she is a goddess of love in the Norse pantheon, she is also considered to be, I believe she is a Valkyrie, and therefore a part of the fates in that mythological pantheon. And Fridays are associated with her, and she is associated with weaving and weaving the web of life. Okay, so for everybody who wasn't new here, sorry for the recap. I say Fridays are for the weavers a lot, or at least I used to, but I haven't for a little while because we haven't really talked about this like whole bonding of things. But today, community's on my mind because last night we had our fundraiser to help raise money for our community event, Pagan Pride Day. Now we got 1/5 of the way there, right? So 1/5. We still have the other 4/5 that we need to raise. Or I could do that like a normal person, be like, we made 1/5, we need the other 4/5. But again, if you're not new here, you know I'm not that normal of a person. Or rather, I'm a normal person, but I'm not that normal, you know? Now, community is on my mind in multiple different aspects. For one, thanks to the community in Joplin, whether they were pagans or not, we made 1/5 of the money that we need to secure our park for Pagan Pride Day in September, which is wonderful, and I'm so appreciative. I even got 2 separate donations where, it's because it was simply because they were trying to support PPD. So one lady, she said, doctor's restrictions, can't have any of the stuff you have here, even though it looks really good. I want you to have this because I want to help support what you're doing, which we appreciated. And I told her, I said, I really appreciate that. And then another person that was making a purchase, actually 2 people, when making a purchase, they just said keep the change because, they wanted their baked goods, but they also wanted to support us. So, they gave us the money for the baked good, and then on top of that, gave more. So community, it's really important, it's really necessary, and community matters. And I'm so thankful and grateful to all of the individuals that supported our event yesterday. Well, I guess it wasn't our event, but supported our bake sale at the Third Thursday event yesterday because, again, we got 20% of the way there. Are we at 100%? No. Are we at 50%? No. But 20% is 20% more than 0. Okay, well, I got a phone call, and I'm not exactly sure where I left off, so I'm just going to continue on, right? So, community is really important. Without community, we wouldn't have raised what we raised so far. And without community's help, we won't raise the rest. And this is a community event, so, I'm trying to be real honest with my community and let them know, I don't have $500 pocket scratch. I don't have that. So, it's a group effort, right? I'm the local coordinator, but it's not up to me to pay everything out of pocket. You know what I mean? This makes sense to people, right? It is up to me to try to raise the funds because I'm supposed to do everything within my power to put the event on. But that's everything within my power. I cannot sacrifice my house to put on a 1-day community event. You know what I mean? And so it's everything within my power, which means I'm doing these fundraisers and I need the community to participate in these fundraisers so that we can raise the funds that we need for the event, right? Okay, cool. Then my other aspect of community is this, right? People always, in June, I'm so fucking tired of hearing people in June be like, why is there Gay Pride Month? I don't have Pride Month. You know why there's Gay Pride Month? Do you know why we have Pagan Pride Day? You know why? You know why pride matters? Why community matters? I was afraid of dealing with bigots and backlash. I was afraid that in the predominantly Christian city that I live in, I was afraid that by being open and loud about the fact that I was raising money for a pagan event might actually mal-affect my goals. I was afraid that people would say, oh, you're a dirty pagan, we're not buying your baked goods. And so we were just talking about it being a bake sale. I never lied when anybody asked what the fundraiser was for. I was very honest and open about it. But I wasn't out loud, hey, this is to support Pagan Pride Day, until about an hour before the end of the event. And let me tell you, once I was openly hollering, this is to support Pagan Pride Day, I got bigger purchases than before. Before we had people buying like one of the baked goods, one of these things, other than the muffins. Like the muffins were gone so quick. I was shocked. We only had 3 boxes of 4 for $7. And there were muffins I made myself with my own recipe. And I mean, those are going to be some good muffins because my mother and my mother-in-law used to die for those muffins. That's a bad choice of words because my mother-in-law passed away at the beginning of the year. But you know what I mean. Anyway, until I was loud about the fact that we were Pagan Pride, I was just getting a couple of things here and a couple of things there. And we never would have hit our goal if I hadn't have been honest. Out loud honest. Because the people that want Pagan Pride around that didn't know about us before or were glad to hear about us, they came and spent their money. They found it an important cause. And so I was afraid because of the stigma that can be attached in a very Christian area to the word pagan. I mean, there's a reason but that's going to sound paranoid. I'm not going to go there. It feels like discrimination hardcore. We've never had to come up with 500 before, but it's part of why I was afraid, to be honest, you know? Because some old lady at the parks department understood what that word meant, and she decided she was going to try and prevent us from happening. So anyway, I'm dealing with it, I'm overcoming, we're adapting, but I need the community's help, right? And I need to be proud of my community, and I need to have faith that no matter what anybody outside of my community thinks, my community still wants us here. Which is the truth, because again, we made bigger and better sales after I was open and honest. I was honest the whole time, but I wasn't out loud about it, right? And so people are always like, why are you so in people's faces about pride? Oh, gay pride's not necessary. It absolutely fucking is. It 1,000,000% is necessary. And it's because everybody's so quiet about it out of fear. Everybody's so afraid of being discriminated against or being attacked, because that really can happen to both LGBTQ individuals and pagan individuals. You can absolutely be fucking violently hurt because of who and what you are. And so there is kind of a valid reason to be afraid, but community and being out loud and proud about it is even more valid and more of a reason to speak up as opposed to a reason to be quiet. Being quiet was detrimental. It's always been detrimental. I just had put in my face last night why, you know, the where, the why, the don't. I know I'm all over the place today because I had these like multiple different messages that maybe don't go together, but they all have to do with community. And so I think I'm going to end it here, and I'm just going to remind everyone, community is super important. Community is important all over the place, and there's no need to be ashamed. I love you all. Have a wonderful weekend.